I'm Eric Bolling. The year 2020, especially summer, has been a nightmare. A deadly virus tanked our economy and kept Americans quarantined. Protests in our cities have turned violent and are now being met with federal force. Meanwhile, the Justice Department's probe into FBI misconduct and the Russia investigation continues despite the pandemic. Joining me now is former Trump administration Deputy National Security Advisor and author of Revolution Trump, Washington, and We the People, K.T. McFarland. K.T., always great having you here. You know, you had mentioned something out in the news that you expect some indictments to be happening soon. Why, and also who do you think could be indicted with this Durham probe?
Okay, well, first, Eric, I should point out, I don't have any leaks from the administration. This is not insider information. But I've got a lot of clues that I'm putting together, and here's how it works. Have you noticed in the last couple of weeks there have been a large number of documents that have been declassified, released to the public? Now, what does that mean? Well, when the Mueller investigation was coming after me and the FBI was interrogating me, the way they do it is they show you documents, text messages, emails, including even some classified information, and they ask you to comment on it and you say what you're going to say. In my case, I really stuck to the truth as opposed to fabricating lies. But once they're done with you, once those documents are finished, they're done. They move on to the next person, the next issue. So the fact that they're releasing a large number of documents in the last several weeks, to me is an indication they're done with that part of the investigation. They're moving on to other people. And the reason that's important is because unlike before with the Mueller investigation, where it was a lot of innuendo, there were a lot of leaks, there was a lot of anonymous sources giving tips, these are documents. These are handwritten notes. These are emails. These are text messages. They've got these guys good to rights.
Okay, so these guys, who do they have, Katie? So this is the U.S. Attorney John Durham's probe into FBI misconduct, and this is surrounding the Russian investigation. The Russian, Trump would call it hoax. So I'm thinking it's got to be Comey, Strzok, or Page. Those are the three likely candidates. Am I right? Am I close?
Yeah, I would even put that net further. Look, I'm not going to say who's about to get indicted because that would be irresponsible of me. But I will say that, have you noticed, Eric, there are a lot of people who haven't been in the media lately. Now, Clapper, Brennan, Comey, McCabe, all the household names, they were all over the media a year ago, talking about this, that, accusing Donald Trump, accusing General Flynn, but they've been remarkably silent. Now, that's another clue I've got, and that's because my guess is that the walls are closing in on them. They're not out there defending themselves. My guess is that they're in meetings with the Justice Department having to give information, and the fact that you haven't heard them, to me, means they've kind of gone to ground. And the next thing and the final clue is that the Justice Department spokesman, she's very good, Carrie Kopek, and she's basically come out yesterday and said, look, we expect things are going to happen. The investigations into General Flynn, the people who went after General Flynn, the people who went after President Trump, the people who went after me and others, they expect things to happen before the end of the summer. She's not going to say that if it's all vague.
And it's misconduct. And they in Flynn's case, they got close to putting people in jail or put people in jail after Carter, going after others. Here's the question.
Right.
Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff to President Trump, said time for people to go to jail. You got about a minute or so, KT. You're looking at America right here. We are so tired of all this wrangling back and forth, these legal maneuvers, and never seeing a perp walk by some of these people who commit what should be crimes. Will we see someone behind bars?
I think we have to. I mean, Eric, the evidence is overwhelming. And, well, frankly, let's put it in the other direction. If we don't see people who are indicted, if we don't see people behind bars, then I think that my confidence and a lot of Americans' confidence in the impartiality of the blind justice that applies to all people, and it applies equally to American citizens and to bureaucrats, then I think our confidence in that would be greatly shattered. They've got them good to rights. I mean, Eric, they've got documents. It's hard to look the other way because it turns out all these guys, they were taking notes, either because they were so sure they'd never get caught or because they thought if they got caught, they wanted to make sure they could defend themselves. I think that's where we are now.
K.T. McFarland, always good having you on, and we'll have you back again very soon. Let's hope we see some perp walks and some jail cell doors being locked on some of these people who've committed these crimes.
I sure hope so.
K.T., thank you.
Thanks, Eric.